Okay, this is about why it's incredibly hard to find good sperm. There's a sperm shortage in America, which sounds crazy, but it's super hard to both donate sperm at a sperm bank and be a known sperm donor. And that's thank you. I appreciate the validation there. This is me giving my first ever Ignite talk in 2017, which was about egg freezing. And at that time, I was like, okay, I've frozen my eggs. Actually, I've done a few more rounds. I'm totally set, right? No. I've discovered a lot more about the challenging process to the other half of making a real baby, starting with sperm banks. Right now, there's more demand and less supply. You actually have more fertility issues, so people are having babies later in life. You have more single moms, you have more lesbian couples and new family styles that are all using sperm, and there's not more sperm. In fact, 1 out of 100 men who apply to be a sperm donor actually qualify, whether it's age, height, different restrictions. And the craziest one, you can't be gay. The FDA says you can't donate sperm if you slept with a man in the past 5 years. I know, very shocking. So they do a lot of screening on traits that you might not care about, and then no screening on traits that you might care a lot about, like IQ or mental health, things that you can't tell from a profile. So it's not really the best, but even if you qualify, that takes about 6 months. Then you have to donate in person once a week, at least, for a year. You have to abstain from sex and masturbation for 48 hours before donating. You have one sexual partner only, and you get paid $50 a pop. So if you're a guy that's well-traveled, has a busy schedule, an active love life, and is not motivated by $50, you're not gonna, that guy's not gonna be your sperm donor, at least not through a sperm bank. Which is a really interesting fact to think about there. Let's look at California Cryobank, which is the biggest sperm bank in the US, which at any given time has 550 donors. That is not a lot. You could swipe through that if that was Tinder in a very, very short amount of time. They also say they have the most Ivy League graduates, but they won't tell you which ones are which. For instance, this is a sample profile. You have a baby photo only. You have a description someone has written about this person, and then you have a price. He's at $35,000, which is crazy. And often you need to buy multiple vials to even try and get to a live birth. So these sperm banks are trying to protect a lot of anonymity, which doesn't actually exist anymore in our world. DNA testing can reveal a lot of parental lineage. And there's a lot of legislation that's being passed that removes closed ID. So it's a strange system. Diversity is also a really big problem at sperm banks. If you want to have a kid that looks like you and you're ethnically looking for black sperm or Hispanic sperm, that's going to be really hard to find. That's not most sperm donors. And that's a challenge that's not very easy to fix. There's also limitations to how many times each individual man can donate. In California, it's 25. In France, it's 6. So after all of that, for all that time, this is what you have. So if you want to have a kid by the same donor, you can't buy the same sperm in a few months or a year. They'll just run out. And I'm not saying all this to trash sperm banks. They're doing good things. They just are FDA regulated. They've been around since the 1950s, and they're working with a lot of systems that are really hard to change. If we look at the flip side, known donors, which are somebody like a friend is going to give you a really nice gift. So you get to bypass like the screening process that we just talked about, but you still have to go through 3 hours of psych evals. You have to go through medical evaluation, genetic testing, and you each need a lawyer to go through the paperwork. And you have a lot of questions about this new relationship. It's a really hard thing to ask. We spend a lot of time thinking about what we would be looking for in a potential donor, and a lot more time than we would, say, for like a first date or someone you want to ask a more casual favor. That's strange. And for men, this might be the first time they've thought about this. It's kind of shocking. What about compensation? This is a very time-consuming task. You have to go through a lot of lifestyle changes, and there's no favor quite like this one. You can't just buy them a cup of coffee. But we don't have a way to talk about, do we offer money? Do we ask for money? How does this even work? How do you structure a donor-child relationship? Some people want videos or photos sent once a week. Some people do in-person meetings, maybe after a certain age. What impact does this have on the donor's own future family or future children? A lot of good questions that are confusing. How does finding known donors work today? So there's Facebook groups, there's Reddit threads. This is an actual sample of strange men posting that they're willing to donate sperm, which is a little sketch for a lot of reasons. Or you ask people that you know. This is really limiting, and a lot of people are stuck there. What's the magical future here? What if it was public knowledge who was willing to donate sperm? What if there were decent compensation and matchmaking structures in place? Some kind of magical, bespoke directory for sperm donors that you could actually just browse that doesn't have all the problems of sperm banks. So In the meantime, please spread the word. You have a lot more fun facts to drop at dinner table conversations. And if you're able to donate, consider doing so, or really think about what this could look like. Thank you. That's my talk.